Welcome to the House of Wrestling. This is me, Nick Hausman. I'm here with WWE SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. But we were just chatting before we got on the air. I wanted you to say a shout out to my wife, Liz, right?
Yes.
But you were telling me that your real name was almost Elizabeth, but it didn't happen. Why is that?
Because I think my dad got jealous of me having the same name as my mom. So it was supposed to be Elizabeth Ashley. Remember, my cheeks are hurting. But then it became Ashley Elizabeth. Because my mom's Elizabeth Ann.
Okay.
So it would have been Elizabeth, whatever. But no, now I'm Charlotte.
Now she's
Now I'm
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Well, talking about your dad, you're not the only person in WWE with a famous father these days, right? There's a lot more generational talent. Now, we've seen you interact with Dom. I don't get the impression you're a big fan of Dominic and the way he's been trashing his dad. But Cody Rhodes, man, he comes to the ring and he's always putting over Dusty. What do you think of the way that Cody's kind of carried on his family legacy and what he has a chance to accomplish, just like you do tomorrow night at WrestleMania?
Oh, Cody. I just hope he knows that his dad's going to have the best seat in the house on Sunday. And I know the pressure, the heartache, what it takes. And I think Cody he knows his worth. He's left, he's come back, he's made it to the dance, and he knows what he's doing. And his dad would be so proud.
Well, I want to ask you real quick, your husband got brought up kind of subtly in some promos with Dominic, right? You said you've got your own...
My real Latino man.
Right. So, he's mysteriously absent from pro wrestling at the moment. You want to let everybody know what he's up to? Is there any chance we see him and you doing anything in the near future together?
Well, he's recovering from an injury,
okay.
Which is almost healed, and I hope to manage him one day. That's my goal.
All right. Well, hey, I only got two questions. I think I snuck in a third about your name. I did. I got 2.5. Charlotte, I want to thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much.
Cool. All right. Braun, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time. I waved at you earlier, and I was like, can I get some time? And you looked at me in a way where everybody around here thought you didn't like me.
Oh, I didn't. I was just looking at it.
Oh.
You guys know I got a handler. I'm like a giant zoo animal. I have someone that just leads me around and I just go.
Well, you are a giant, and one of my favorite videos this year is watching you do that backflip on the trampoline, right? Now, you seem to cause a lot of controversy there, and then shortly after, they put you with Ricochet. Has being paired with Ricochet given you an appreciation for the wrestlers that do the kind of style
it's
that
not that I never had an appreciation. I just love stirring the proverbial pot of internet wrestling because it's so much fun, because it's easy. Everyone sells for me so good. No, I have mad respect for it, and like I said in a couple of interviews, my thing is all the boys in our locker room know me and know my sense of humor, and the rest of the world per se doesn't know it. I'm a little dry at times, but that was me goofing off. And as much as, like I said, I was very proud of my match that I had with Omos in Saudi Arabia. And so what? I patted myself on the back. Some people liked it, some people did. At the end of the day, guess what? I'm on WrestleMania because of a tweet. Or am I not? No, I don't know. All in all, honestly, I have no idea if that's really what stemmed it all, because they were already talking about putting me in a tag team and stuff like that before. So it just ended up working out great. Look how we swerved that.
Are you going to be pulling out any Ricochet-type moves at WrestleMania? Can we expect a shooting star?
All right, I'll give you a little spoiler. So
Please.
I'm probably going to get up and we're going to go, and you'll have to tune in Saturday to find out.
Oh, thank you so much, Braun. Appreciate it, my friend. Welcome to House of Wrestling. It's me, Nick Hausman, and right now I have the pleasure of being joined by Natalya. Natalya, thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure.
So you and Shotzi are going to be in this women's showcase match at WrestleMania. Talk to me a little bit about how your chemistry with Shotzi has compared to other women that you've been tagged up with here in WWE.
First of all, I'm the queen of playing nice with others, and I think it's so funny. I've probably had the most tag team partners in the history of women's wrestling, but I think that's a testament to the fact that I'm so compatible with so many different people.
Right.
Beth Phoenix is always going to be my tag team partner for life. I love teaming up with Tamina Snuka. I was a tag team with Lana, who is also a very close friend of mine. And when this opportunity presented itself with Shotzi, I was excited.
Yeah.
She's never been in a WrestleMania before. Last year, it's worth mentioning, last year her dad died, her stepdad died, her sister was diagnosed with cancer. And she's somebody that comes to my ring, comes to the dungeon, and trains with me privately. And she's very driven, she's very hardworking, and she's very underrated. And she's one of those women that just needs a chance and a little guidance. And I'm so grateful that I get to be like a building block for her in her career, because I think she's wildly talented.
So when you bring Shotzi into the dungeon, are you stretching greenies like Stu? Like, are you really putting her through the paces, making her cry? Is it as stiff As when Stu was running the dungeon?
The dungeon's very streamlined. It's not really like a school. It's more like a wrestling workshop. But we do a lot of conditioning in there. And I always say to everybody I work with, I don't get ready, I stay ready. And that's the cool thing is that, like, when I think about Shotzi, she's somebody that year-round has been here. Every SmackDown, live events, she's somebody that's here all year long, and she's a woman that's been waiting for an opportunity. And it's so cool that 18 women get to be in WrestleMania across 2 nights. And you think about all the women in NXT that are going to be at Stand and Deliver. It's like a record amount of women that are being represented this weekend. And that makes me so happy. And the women that are a part of this, this weekend have really earned their spots. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you about another generational talent. And by the way, it's like everybody's a generational talent. I feel like in WWE right now, you got Cody, right?
Yeah, Cody, Roman,
Usos,
myself.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
and of
Charlotte.
course, there's Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
You speak very highly of your father, obviously, as does Cody. Dom's over here calling his dad a deadbeat. What do you think about the way that Dom has grown over the past year? What do you think of him as a performer now?
I think that Dom has just really found himself as a performer, and it comes with reps. I think you don't get to that level without reps, and he's gotten reps. He's gotten a chance to really find himself. And when you work against Rey Mysterio, who's one of the biggest babyface superstars in the history of WWE,
Man.
It gives you that platform to really dig in and be the bad guy that you need to be, and to really develop and grow and harness that character. And Dominic he's such a sponge. He's always training. He's always at the performance center. He's somebody that people don't realize the work that goes into what we do, but he's evolved his body. He works hard in the ring. He's grown on the mic. And also, despite his persona that he plays in WWE, he's a really great person.
Yeah.
All the success that he has right now, he's earned.
Well, last thing I want to ask you about, I interviewed CJ Perry not too long ago, and I loved the interaction she had with your dad on Total Divas.
My dad loved CJ.
Yes. Can you talk about just what an odd pairing that was and how they became friends? Because I was enthralled watching those two take shots and have fun on Total Divas.
Yeah, no, CJ was so good to my dad, and she'd always make a big fuss over him. And towards the end of my dad's life, especially dealing with Alzheimer's, my dad, when people would make him feel good, he really lived his life in the moment. And sorry.
Different.
Brain fart. CJ, can I call her Lana?
You can call her Lana.
So during the last years of my dad's life, Lana, CJ feels like a very foreign name to me. It's probably why I said Shotzi.
That's fine.
Lana, that's what she is on my phone. Lana treated my dad like he was the center of her world. When she'd be around him, she would make a fuss, and my dad would always go, "When is Lana coming over?" Because he remembered. They would say that there's that quote, "You remember how somebody made you feel." And so Lana always made my dad feel like he was so important, and I will forever be grateful for her and the way she made my dad feel.
I take it she's someone you'd welcome wholeheartedly back into the WWE fold if she chose to come back?
I would love to see Lana back in the WWE. I think Lana would be an incredible asset to our women's division. She's beautiful. She can speak. She's an incredible wrestler. She also trained with us in the dungeon, and I'd love, love, love to have her back in WWE.
Man, wow, that's crazy. I didn't know she was in the dungeon. Well, anyway,
I trained in the dungeon.
I know you got a lot of other people to talk to. I want to thank you so much for the time, Natalya.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Welcome back to House of Wrestling. It's me, Dick Hausman. I am surrounded by some very large men and Valhalla, one of the scariest women in all of professional wrestling. I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time here. First of all, I've been fans since your War Machine days back in New Japan, and you guys are crushing it right now. How does it feel to kind of get back to your roots a little bit? It feels like Triple H is presenting you guys a little bit differently than you have been in the past couple of years.
It feels great. You just mentioned War Machine. We were just talking. We're in LA for WrestleMania. We wrestled for New Japan in LA. We won the IWGP tag titles right here in LA. So it's really cool to be back and be able to kick ass.
Well, Paul, you are back under a new name. How different does it feel now to get to be presenting yourself this way? Do you feel like this is how you always wanted to be shown in WWE?
Yeah, I kind of created Valhalla, and I showed up looking ridiculous like I do, and
I don't think you look ridiculous.
Hunter was like, "This is great." So it's cool and freeing to be such a character-driven character in a WWE setting. It's really awesome.
Well, if the Viking Raiders pick up the win here in this showcase match, I should say if, I say win, right? Because I don't want you guys to beat me up, right? Now, there's not anything on the line quite right now, but what do you think should go to the winner of this match?
It doesn't matter what accolades or what anything does, because we're not really focused on what anybody else says. We want to hear what the gods' plan for us are. And Valhalla hears the gods, she tells us, and we listen. So we're going to do whatever the gods tell us to do next. I don't care what anybody else tells us to do. We're not listening to them. We're listening to the gods.
I want to thank you all so much for taking the time. I know a lot of other people here want your time, so I'm going to go ahead and hand it off. But thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Welcome back to the House of Wrestling. It's me, Nick Hausman, and I am joined right now by the submission magician, Shayna Basler. Shayna, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, we were talking about this backdrop before we recorded, and you said after this it's going to go to the infamous warehouse. Have you been to the WWE warehouse?
Yeah, man. We've all been to the warehouse.
Everybody?
Everything's there. The SmackDown fist is there.
Did you fist the fist? Not fist, but did you bump the fist?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
The cement-filled car is there.
What?
Everything's there. Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, well, this is nothing. We're going to move on to other things. You've got a big WrestleMania match. You're going to be tagging with your good friend Ronda Rousey, and you two have done so many interviews the past couple of years talking about how much you would love to be working as a tandem. Here you are. How does it feel to finally be able to have that chance to work alongside Ronda as a tag unit?
It's pretty cool, and not just like, I mean, obviously you want to do stuff with your friends and family, and like Ron and I are like sisters.
Sure.
But particularly here in LA is where I moved out here to live with Rhonda and to train and join her team and do all that. So this is kind of where the teamness started. So to have this moment here in the place where it all started, it's pretty cool. It's like full circle stuff.
So Ronda went out and said that she's dealing with an injury of some kind right now. Do you want to let her? Is there an update on how she's feeling? I mean, do you think she'll be at 100% for Mania? What do you think?
If anyone knows anything about Ronda, she could like get her leg cut off in a fight, and she'd be like, throw it to me in the corner and be like, just put it on ice, I'll be fine, and still somehow finish the match. I don't know if you guys know anyone that's like an Olympian and a champion on top of that, but they're like a different breed of crazy. So the arm, I can tell you, regardless of how it is not going to be a factor.
Okay. Well, obviously the tag titles are held right now by Lita and Becky Lynch, and if you two walk away with the win here in the showcase match, technically there's not an opportunity
Who's
on the
left?
That's kind of my question. Is beyond WrestleMania, is the tag titles next on the list for you and Ronda?
Here's the thing. Obviously, we want to clean out the division, and that will happen on Sunday. We have talked about how, interestingly enough, since Becky and Lita have won the titles, they haven't even been on house shows. So we would like to carry on the prestige that those titles have. Regardless of whether they have them or not, eventually we're going to be the only team left, and they're going to have to put them on us.
Wow. And so is that kind of a shot at them for being part-timers, not working on the road, kind of?
I mean, call it what you want, right?
All right. Well, we had Alba Fire and Isla Dawn over here, and you were obviously one of the best women to ever come out of NXT, right? Former champion, lots of legacy there. Would you and Ronda entertain the idea of going down and taking on them if they were to be tag champions, or whoever the NXT Ronda Rousey in the NXT space with you just seems like such an interesting idea, Shayna.
We will welcome all fights. I don't think that either of us are people you think of that would turn down any fight. And obviously NXT has a special place in me. So anytime I can go down, represent the best era of NXT, and let any of those girls who think they're cool, remind them of the legacy that they're representing, I wouldn't turn that down either.
All right. Well, hey, thank you so much for the time, Shane. I really
Thank
appreciate it. Welcome back to House of Wrestling. It's me, Nick Hausman. I am joined here right now by Zoe Stark. Not Zoe Starks,
No.
Zoe Stark, right?
Just
Now,
end it with a K.
do you want to make it very, very clear how people should say your
Zoe Stark. And when I'm saying this to my coach Bloom, who's been ribbing me for some time. It is Zoe Stark.
Wait, is Albert calling you Starks?
Yeah, he does that sometimes, and he'll just like get a little chuckle out of it.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, you know what? If somebody's going to get a little chuckle out of it, it would be Giant Bernard, right?
Exactly. I love him, and I can't get mad at him for it.
So
Okay,
you know what? Nobody ever talks about Matt Bloom.
he needs more recognition.
He really
He needs more recognition.
Wait,
I'm so
wait, no,
sorry.
no, it's okay.
You're getting me all fired up.
No.
Because this man, he has a mind for the business, right? And I shouldn't even be telling him his head's going to get bigger than what it already is.
It's already big.
It's already big.
Physically.
But I love the guy.
Yeah?
He's amazing, man. I go to him with all my matches and stuff, and I sit there and I listen to his critiques, and he has such a mind for this, and he's pointing out just the small details that nobody really thinks of.
Yeah.
And then he's throwing ideas at you. Maybe you do this, or maybe you do that, and then you just play around with it and you figure it out.
Well, and he's a great example of a guy, you know, kind of like Cody and others who like left WWE, went over to Japan,
Yep.
reinvented himself,
Yeah.
world traveled. So you're getting advice from not just the WWE bubble. You're getting like advice from somebody who's seen the wider worldwide landscape of pro wrestling.
Yeah. Like I almost look at him as like a father figure.
Wow.
You know, he's amazing. I love him so much. He's great.
You say that, but is Shawn Michaels going to get upset?
Are you trying to get me in trouble right now?
I am.
Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm trying to get heat on you. Sorry.
Man.
No.
So if I say I love Shawn Michaels more than Bloom, then Bloom's gonna get mad at me. And I love them both equally. They're both amazing. I go to both.
What you're saying is Zoe Stark has two dads.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Wonderful. That's a good book.
Can we add Triple H into that mix?
Okay, Zoe Stark
Has three
dads. It's a thruple.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Wonderful. So Zoe, you have a huge opportunity. Roxanne Perez back in the mix. She's putting her NXT Women's title on the line in this ladder match. How daunting is that for you? I mean, you're an athlete, but you don't really get trained to fall onto ladders or fall off of ladders.
Or do I?
I mean, maybe you do. I have no idea what you do in the Performance Center.
So this is my second ladder match.
Right.
So I have a little bit of an idea of how this works.
Okay.
And then, you know, like you said, we do have Shawn Michaels.
Right.
Right. So I was just talking to him yesterday about the ladder match. Right.
Oh,
and
man.
I can't spill the secrets because I can't let Roxanne or anybody else know about them. It's my game plan.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So I'm excited for it, but you never know what's going to happen.
Man, I had just put the pieces together. WrestleMania 10, Shawn Razor, Mania. Here we are, Mania weekend. You're in a ladder match. I don't want to put pressure on you, but like now you have to deliver, right?
Oh, I'm going to steal the show.
You're going to stand and deliver.
I'm going to stand and deliver.
This is
Yes.
going well.
Yes.
Now, wait, Roxanne Perez back in the mix here after getting cleared from injury. What do you think of the champ?
You know, she's good.
Yeah.
You know, I think she might be making a mistake.
Oh.
She passed out after a match with Miko,
Right.
and now she thinks she's okay to come back into this match with 5 other females.
I mean, that's what they...
I think she's biting more than what she can handle.
Okay, gotcha. Well, you know, and Zoe, just even talking to you, the confidence that just like beams off you right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people say you're ready for the main roster. A lot of people say you're ready to be tangoing with Charlotte Flair.
Damn right.
And Bianca Belair.
Damn right. Keep listening.
We got Rhea Ripley.
Damn right.
Asuka.
Damn right.
Hell, let's throw Chelsea Green in there, right?
Oh yeah, let's throw it. Let's
just
throw Chelsea Green. I can handle any of the girls. I can handle Liv, Sonya. Shit, I'll even throw out Ronda Rousey.
Oh man, okay. So how
Natalya.
do you feel like your time in NXT is going to be much longer, or do you get the vibe that we could be maybe seeing you in the Raw and SmackDown mix maybe within the next couple months or longer?
I mean, I would love to be there within the next couple months. NXT is my home, though.
Yeah.
But I guess when you start getting too comfortable, that's when you kind of got to move up.
I guess. I mean, and it wouldn't be that different for you. I mean, Triple H was like your mentor down in NXT. Now he's
Sure,
running
yeah.
the big show. I'm sure
Yeah.
that certainly helps.
It's perfect crossover, right?
Perfect
Like,
crossover.
We'll see. I'm hearing a lot of rumors. Like, I don't know anything.
Okay.
Like, they don't ever tell me anything. I'm hearing a lot of rumors. We'll see what happens. If it happens, great. I'm excited for it, and I'm ready for it. I'm prepared for it. And I'll have the same amount of confidence that I have now going into it, because I know I can hang with these girls.
Totally.
Like, there's not a question in my mind, and I know for a fact that I'm the best in NXT.
All right, we'll wrap it there.
So, you know.
Well,
We'll see
hey,
what happens.
I don't know where else to go from there. Zoe, thank you so much for the
Thank
time.
you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a good one.
Welcome into the House of Wrestling, everybody. It's me, Nick Hausman. I am joined right now by Legato Del Fantasma, and I am very excited. It's a big week for you all. You're going to be competing in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal here on Friday. I'll start with you, Cruz. How are you feeling going into this thing? What would it mean for you to capture an award that's helped so many talents get forward in WWE?
Well, it's very honored to be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. It's my first time in WrestleMania weekend. I'm super excited, and I'm very happy to be here.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's great.
Wonderful. And Santos, man, you've been having the chance to get involved with the Mysterios recently. What an honor, man. I mean, how does it feel for you? I mean, you've gotten the mask from Ray. You've now got to be in the ring with him on such a large scale. What does it mean to you to just get to work with Ray at this point in his career where not many more other people are going to get to work with him? Girl.
Well,
Wait.
Here's Selena.
There we go.
Thank you.
gracias, Reina. Well, I'm very happy, excited, honored. Might be the proper term to reveal how I feel about this whole situation. But also the fact that we represent Lucha Libre, all of us. Legado del Fantasma is about Lucha Libre. Yes, we want the glory. Yes, we want the titles. Yes, we want the accolades. But we represent a much more important and significant concept, and that's Lucha Libre. And Lucha Libre for us, like I said, is tradition, heritage, and culture. Yes, but it's also familia. Lucha Libre, across the world, we're a big family. I was going to say happy, but it's not always happy, but we're one big family. And those who protect and know the roots of Lucha Libre, which go back to familia, our ancestors, need to protect that. What Dominic is doing is wrong in so many levels. We can't let that happen. And at first, I wanted Ray's legacy, and that might seem wrong at the time, but that's how we're built. We want the glory. But then when I traded actions in the ring with him, I realized that what I really have for him is admiration and respect, which is why I gave him my mask, and in return he gave me his, which means I respect you, you respect me. Love aside, which I might love him, he might love me, but this is respect, and respect is deep. And then Dom doing that to him, we just can't let that happen. We won't let that happen. Judgment Day represents everything that's wrong. Yeah, they look cool, sure. But what do you stand for? We stand for familia. We stand for tradition. We stand for culture. We stand for a country and a nation, the Latino nation. We have La Reina Boricua here, Cruz del Toro and myself, Mexican. Joaquin Wilde is Filipino, but his heart and soul are Mexican. So we will never stand and just observe how someone disrespects who we are and what we represent.
Thank you, Selena, by the way. Multi-talented. Thank you. Yeah, and I mean, absolutely right. And with Selena, you've come in and you've really kind of taken on a leadership managerial role. How would you describe your role with Legato?
Well, first off, I'm going to start by saying I'm not just one thing. I'm not just a manager. I'm not just a wrestler. I literally wear every single hat in WWE, whether it's a commentator, an interviewer, I mean, clearly. But I think it takes a certain kind of person of, I mean, listen, I'm just the best. Let's just start with that, okay? So, I mean, first ever Queen of the Ring in WWE, former tag team champion. When I look at talent and when I look at people of, like, progression and what's going to happen in the future, I couldn't look any farther than Legado because easily is going to be a team that's going to skyrocket here in WWE.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot, Selena. I'm going to ask you the hard question here last. Now, obviously, this is your family here in WWE, Legato, but I think your husband has a different family on the other side. So let's say a trios match gets thrown down between Legato and House of Black. How do you think that plays out? Who do you think wins?
Well, you said we're a family, right? So maybe that doesn't happen. And unfortunately for anybody else, if it's all of us against anyone, I don't think that's a good look for anybody else.
Let me just say something else. La Reina, she's a leader. But most importantly, she's a true professional. Familia or not familia, that's why we have the perfect enterprise here. She's the best, and we're the best. And together, there's very little you can do.
And also, just to remind you, it's not even like that hasn't happened before. You remember that quite easily, don't you?
Yes, of course, yes.
I've been against and with my husband many times. So either way, I mean, this is what matters right now. This right here.
Fair enough. Thank you so much. I'm very much so looking forward to seeing you guys here compete at WrestleMania weekend. Have a great rest of your weekend, guys. Thank you so much. Welcome inside House of Wrestling, everybody. It's me, Nick Hausman. I am so honored at this time to be joined by Alba Fire, Isla Dawn. They are going for the WWE NXT Women's Tag Team Championships at NXT Stand and Deliver this Saturday. First of all, What does it feel like for you guys? You guys haven't been with WWE for like the longest time, right? You're not exactly veterans. You got this big title opportunity on Saturday. Where's your head at going into the big match?
Well, I mean, even though we've not been on NXT for the longest time, but we've been working really hard on NXT UK. I was there from the formation of NXT UK, and then Alba came in and just like set the place on fire.
Sure, literally.
So we I feel like we've been like grinding, like kind of underground for a while.
Yeah, for a little while, trying to just make a name for ourselves, trying to get here.
Yeah, and then now we've got like the opportunity on the biggest week of the year, like to hand and deliver, like one of the biggest crowds that like either of us worked on, and it's just we want to just go out and like show like all the work that we've done before, like we're here. Like,
so when you guys were in NXT UK, you guys worked a lot with Shawn Michaels, right? Like obviously he was very hands-on, and now he's very hands-on with NXT in general. Has that like given you guys an advantage, you think, because you already have some rapport with the guy who's running the show?
Definitely, you want to be in with everybody. We used to see in NXT UK, because sometimes he wasn't there physically because of everything that's happened in the world recently, and we used to say he was the voice of God because there was just a speaker that would, hey guys, good job, or something, information, instructions, and you would just be looking at the ceiling like, thanks, Sean. Thank you very much.
it was like the best feeling when you done something and you'd be like, great job, ladies, and you'd be like, thanks, Dad, God.
Affirmations, just to be like, you're doing good, especially when we were doing it with like no crowds. That was hard to work in just a warehouse with no crowd cheering or anything. So the fact that he supported us all through that, and now I feel like he's a massive support in NXT as well. And it's just like, we're all fans of Shawn Michaels, so to actually get to learn under him and be like moving up with him is really, really cool for me.
And it's like he's somebody that like we have all like everybody has idolised, but you feel almost like you want to do good by him, like you want to make him proud, you want to come backstage and you want to everything you do. Like, obviously everybody wants to like have a great matches or whatever, but like you want to come back, and if you know like he's put so much effort and time into like NXT UK and NXT that you want to like make sure that he knows that his work is causing like an effect that's like it's for something
as well. Yeah. 100%.
Well, you two might be not the only two redheads holding gold here by the end of the weekend. There's also Becky Lynch and Lita on the main roster right now. I have to imagine you two ladies would welcome a confrontation.
100%.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about how you would kind of see that playing out. How do you want that to go down?
I mean, we're obviously challenging for some titles this weekend ourselves. Who knows if we win or if we don't win? Maybe we'll just set our sights on theirs. Like, you never know what can happen in wrestling. I feel like that's one of the best things. But if we could get in the ring with Lita and Becky, man, that's. I feel like for any little girl that watched wrestling, that's a dream come true. You know, no matter what era you were in, that's a dream come true. So, yeah.
They are like the game changers of women's wrestling, in general, like not just women's wrestling. So anything like, whether it is us with titles, us not with titles, like we open arms,
They don't have any.
Yeah.
I don't care. It was cool to have a match with
Yeah.
them. Like,
That'd be
beat
awesome.
them up, beat up Lita and Becky. Yeah, that'd be really fun.
All right,
We're the top redhead.
Last thing, when I was at the Rumble, I asked Dewdrop who she'd love to be working with from NXT, and she said a lot of nice things about you, Alba. I didn't know if you just wanted to real quickly comment on the nice things she said about you, the potential of working with or feuding with Dewdrop on. I'm going to hold this. I feel so bad, by the way.
I'll just let you.
She's not working for me, but she's done a great job interviewing.
Thank you.
So, Alba.
I feel like for myself, like I've worked I've worked Dewdrop, Piper Niven. What name are we on right now?
Oh, not Piper Niven.
Piper
That's
Niven,
right.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting
You
used
said
to
it first.
I
so
did.
I'm
I
blaming
screwed
you.
it. But she was Dewdrop when I asked her. She
was
became
Dewdrop when you
Piper
asked
Niven
her. Okay.
24 hours later.
Fair. I'm
Thank
going to
you.
go with Piper Niven. I've worked Piper for a long time, a lot of times, in so many places over the world, in the smallest venues to a big venue. If we can have that match at WrestleMania. If we could have the match at WrestleMania, that's my dream. Like, obviously, you've got so many other goals and achievements. Like, if we could wrestle Becky and Lita at WrestleMania as well, that'd be cool. But I feel like my wee back pocket one is Piper.
All right.
Piper
Hey.
at Mania, yeah.
Well, I want to thank you two so much. It was great chatting
Thank
with
you.
you.
Thank you
guys
so
have a great future ahead, I'm sure, for you in WWE.
Thank
and
you.
Thanks again so much for the time. Yeah, I was about to say,
Hold
give
it for
that
a
over hand.
while.
Yeah, you do
Thank
it.
you.
Hold it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome back to House of Wrestling. It's me, Nick Hausman, and I have the pleasure of being joined right now by Legato Del Fantasma's Joaquin Wilde. Joaquin, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, man. Chicago, definitely in the building.
Yes. So I knew you before you were Joaquin. You had like several names. You were Zima, you were DJZ, but you are representing Chicago proud here. You and Ali, right? Mustafa.
Yeah.
What is it like, by the way, for you and Mustafa to be backstage after working like so long together on the indies, but now you're like on the biggest platform on the planet?
Yeah, it's a strange journey for sure.
Yeah.
When you're in those humble beginnings, in those Lucha Libre gyms in Chicago where me and Ali came up through, yeah, you're not expecting that you're both going to end up in WWE together at the same time, but that's just kind of how the journey's gone. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful we get to do it together.
So he's been with the company a little bit longer than you. Obviously been on the main roster for a couple of years longer than you. Is he someone that you've felt confident going to, asking for advice, getting that kind of feedback from?
100%. Yeah, I feel like he's my real friend, so he's somebody that I trust, that I can go to, vent, ask for advice, ask for suggestions, and he's always going to give me an honest answer, and I appreciate that, and I respect him a lot.
I'm going to ask you to follow up on that, and you may not want me to, but when you vent, what do you vent about to Ali?
I mean, who knows? Like, a number of things, not even wrestling related all the time. I'm a new father. He's got kids.
Congratulations.
Small kids. Oh, thank you. So, yeah, sometimes I'll vent about that.
All right. Well, like we said, you guys spent so much time together on the indies. Obviously, you were at Impact. A lot of people remember you from that.
Yeah.
How different is the WWE experience? What makes this experience different than the stuff you've done in the past?
I mean, there are so many differences. This is the highest level. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
I think about it a lot, though. I think the biggest difference between like my time in Impact, for example, and then my time here is preparation. When I was in Impact, they plucked me from the indies. I was a 24-year-old kid who had never done live television, and all of a sudden I'm wrestling on live television and just figuring it all out right there in the moment. WWE, I come here, I've got over a decade of television wrestling experience, so I just felt more prepared, more ready for this opportunity.
And so when you came in, everybody knew you as DJZ. I mean, I hate to say you were over, right? Because you're probably more known now as part of Legato, but you were very, very popular. Was there ever any consideration to bringing that character over to WWE, or was it from the beginning they knew they wanted to kind of repackage you?
Well, I don't know if there was a direction initially. I came through NXT and I came out wearing the DJZ costume.
Remember?
But Ali was wearing a similar costume.
Oh, that's right. He had the mask.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So I kind of had to pivot and come up with something else. And I wore a really weird space helmet randomly for a few months.
I recall this now, yes.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. I was a dark time in my life, maybe.
Okay, fair enough.
And then Legato Del Fantasma came about. This gave me an opportunity to be a totally different character, an aggressive, badass heel. And I'd never played a character like that before. And kind of came natural to me a little bit.
You guys are a fantastic unit, Joaquin, really. And like you're working with, Lucha royalty now over here in Santos Escobar. How has that felt for you, getting to work alongside somebody like him with the legacy that comes along with that?
Yeah, you know what? The guy is Lucha Libre royalty, but he's never made me feel like I was anything less than that, So a lot of respect for the guy. I don't know what my career looks like if the Legato del Fantasma opportunity didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I do feel like I owe him a lot.
Well, one of the things a lot of people obviously noticed was you guys had Elektra Lopez in NXT, but then you changed over to Selina Vega when you came to the main roster. How did you feel about that turnover there, that change from Elektra to Selina?
I mean, it's just part of the game. Wrestling is a unpredictable, unforgiving business sometimes, and things are going to happen, things that you don't plan for, things that you can't imagine. But she handled that situation, Elektra, she handled that situation like a professional, and I think that's going to pay off for her in the end.
Well, you have a big match here tomorrow night, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Would you consider this the biggest opportunity you've had in WWE so far?
It's up there for sure.
Yeah.
This is definitely a big opportunity. The last SmackDown before WrestleMania right here in LA, Crypto Arena, that's a big opportunity. And believe me, it's cool to be in the Battle Royal, but I'm trying to win the Battle Royal. I want that trophy in my new house displayed in the living room.
So how is it working for Triple H, man? He's the guy who's in charge right now backstage. What's your relationship like with him?
He's so cool, man. He's never wrong. Like any suggestion that he has, any tweak that he wants to make, he's always right. Like it blows my mind. I've never seen the guy miss. He is always right about whatever he thinks. This should be like this or that should be like that. The dude's never wrong.
All right. Hey, well, Joaquin, I know you got a lot of other interviews to do. I want to thank you so much, Sam, for just taking some one-on-one time with me, man. Like,
of course.
This guy right here, this guy, he's somebody that's the real deal, and you should all really go out of your way to support Joaquin Wilde. I want to thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you. And hey, support the House of Wrestling as well. Support my guy Nick over here. Chicago, what up? Shout out Portillo's. Shout out Jewel Osco. Chicago, we in the building.
Shout out Freelance Wrestling, right?
Yeah,
there we go.